This video is sponsored by Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. And they've helped over 8 million men feel more confident in their personal hygiene. And they've hooked me up with 20% off and a free shipping offer for you lot. All you have to do is use the code THEKICKOFF for 20% off at manscaped.com. And if you want to stay fresh, then you need the Performance Package 4.0. This includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which can be used pretty much anywhere. Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, which obviously you really do need these in this day and age. You can't be going out, lads, looking like a tramp. There's also a deodorant and toner in there for your balls, because sometimes you really be needing that, you know, for the main event. And there's also a little travel bag for when you want to take it anywhere. You know, you might be staying out. So ideal. The Lawnmower 4.0 is an elite electric trimmer that provides their proprietary advanced skin-safe technology. The trimmer is designed to cut hair on loose skin so that you won't cut yourself. And also, it's waterproof and has an LED light. So big thanks to Manscaped for making sure you lot have got all the right tools for the job and for supporting The Kickoff. If you support The Kickoff, then check this offer out. The link is in the description below. Go to manscaped.com and use The Kickoff, all one word, all caps, for 20% off plus free shipping. Spurs versus Chelsea, where Spurs won comfortably 2-0. The pressure was already on Potter, but bloody hell.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the announcement to come out in the next 5 minutes, actually. I'm keeping an eye on Twitter.
Poch has got to be number one.
Yeah, well, they thought that Poch would agree to go back to Spurs at some point, but I think the fact that he wouldn't want to burn that bridge with the Spurs fans might stop him from taking
it. Depends, man. If you give them 500 million quid and a squad like that, I'll burn some bridges too, to be honest. Because Tottenham, that's never going to happen at Tottenham.
I mean, I'm hearing from our producer, Josh, that Poch actually already turned Chelsea down. I don't know how.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But look, the point is Chelsea are in 10th. Right, they're on 31 points and they've played a game more than Brentford and Brighton. Actually,
Wow.
Brighton have played 2 games less and have got 4 points more. Then you've got Fulham ahead of them, Newcastle ahead of them. There's so many teams ahead of Chelsea after spending all that money who, you know, you can say, oh, it's a transitional. Yeah, but even in transition, spending 600 million, having all that quality, and what I seen today was a bunch of strangers, a team that looked like they'd never played together before. And I'm not surprised because they're averaging 4 changes a game. So talk about not knowing your best side, and it's often more than 4. That's an average.
But he's still playing Sterling and Ziyech. So how on earth can he have any credibility in terms of you've got 500 million worth of but you've got 500 million worth of talent, and you're putting Ziyech in your starting 11.
Yeah,
I rate
Something's not
Ziyech,
right.
to be fair.
Mate,
No. For Chelsea, he's not great.
Yeah, I don't rate him.
I just wonder how many of these signings are Potter signings, though.
It's also Havertz as well. Like you're looking at Havertz and Aubameyang, and then another thing is your manager making the players he's had better? If you look at Mason Mount and the player he was, 10 goals, 10 assists type of player a season, you look at how, like, you know, when you can see it in a player's body language and his attitude, like, he looked miserable today. He looked like he wanted out, and he looked like he was ready to get sent off to prove how frustrated he was as well. Like, that was a player who, when they won the Champions League final, a lot of the Havertz talk and the goal that he scored, but Mason Mount was massive. And today, he looked a player who just didn't look the same anymore.
I think it's easy, though, to clown on Potter, though, isn't it, when all of these new massive signings have came into the club kind of all at once. That must be so hard to kind of build a connection between all of these players in your first big kind of job. Like, Brighton's a big job, but Chelsea's on, like, another level.
But that's the thing, is that it depends on if these are his signings, then he's got to deal with it somehow and get them playing in the same team.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling they're not his signings at all.
I mean, even if they are, they aren't, though. I mean, surely...
I think he's got to say...
He's got quality, though. Surely he must be able to get more out of it.
Yeah, but it's building a team that he knows how to play with.
It's not a team. It's not close to being a team.
No,
like,
of course,
signing Noni Madueke, whatever his name is, just randomly.
But this is the thing.
When you don't have a striker.
But this is why... Yeah. But this is why it seems to me that these can't be his signings, because, like... He wouldn't just sign all these random players and
I think he approves them. I think he approves them as an individual. I think he will be good for our team. He's a good player. I think he has a say, but the logic of who they're choosing and the prioritization is off. Because the number one thing I would have done is just tested every major team for their striker and just see, can we get them? Because there's no point spending 500 million and not having a striker. Everything else falls down if you don't have a striker.
Ryan, you said about David Moyes, it reminded you of that.
Oh, absolutely. It does feel like Moyes. Like, it's another person doing well with a mid-table side, going to a massive team with huge budget and failing. But the question I've got for you is, if he gets sacked in 5 minutes, let's say they bring someone in, what is success for Chelsea this season?
Oh no, there's
10.
no success. Yeah, as long as the success is not getting the Europa League conference spot.
Yeah, avoiding that. So either finish below that or in the Europa League, one of the two.
Yeah.
Do you think they can get Europa League? I don't think
Probably not now. I think before today it was still possible.
If they dream.
In
They're a big-
that case, I don't see why they get rid of Potter then, because I don't think anyone can come in and make any difference realistically.
Well, no,
I think-
it also depends as well. If you can't be picky when it comes to world-class managers, there aren't that many of them.
And who'd want to go to Chelsea right now?
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's still Chelsea. They're a huge club.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
with
so
lots
much
of
dough.
money. Yeah.
Like, they will throw money at managers, and they'll still want to go because it's a world-class team.
I do think, though, like...
Club, not team.
We were saying earlier, Eddie Howe's done so good at Newcastle. If you put him in Chelsea, I don't think he would do... Like, I don't know if he'd do much better than what
No,
Potter's
I
doing
agree
right
with
now.
that. I don't think it's the manager's
You think it's
problem.
a
I don't think-
basket
yeah.
case club where it's
I-
like a poison chalice now at this point?
Absolutely. I mean, they've signed... How many actual players have they signed, rather than just money?
That's part of the problem, and we kind of talked a little bit about this on the kickoff a few weeks ago, is if you're a new manager coming in, they've kind of played their cards.
Yeah.
You can't come in and go, okay, I mean, maybe you can come in and get a striker, but with all of these 7-year contracts, how can you come in and try and reroute everything when you've got a whole load of players who are on long-term contracts who aren't going anywhere, and they're going to kind of have power over you in a sense of like, hey, bro, you got a 3-year deal. I'm on an 8-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think it's a horrendous situation to come into. If Potter can't turn it round, they are going to need someone who's top draw. But the thing is when we're talking about Potter, it's like, even Frank Lampard did better than this.
Yeah, he had no pressure at all.
Yeah, no pressure, but still, better is better. And I think for Potter, I thought he would be so much better. I thought Chelsea, would be outsiders at least they'd at least get top 4 and maybe have a chance of a title push if things clicked. But to be 10th after all this time?
But do you know, when you look at Potter, like, in interviews and that, he just bores us. Like, I saw he made that joke about, like, he's coming out of crisis meeting. I thought, mate, that's not even funny. Like, you just, like, I feel like you've got no passion. And, like, when they were getting beat 2-0 today, he was just standing there, like...
No, it didn't look like a man possessed. Like, when I watched Mikel Arteta and things weren't going well, he looks like someone who's going to turn things around. He's doing all of the things that, like, if you're getting the wrong answer, but the working out looks right, you can think, all right, at some
3
point...
marks.
At some point, it's going to come. I don't see him being the guy right now.
Well, I think it's difficult for him to come across good in any sort of situation. But he came, was it 2 weeks ago? He said, like, of course I get angry. He got peppered in one of the post or pre-match conferences, and he was like, of course I get angry. I've been getting angry and stuff like. But Chelsea fans are like, I don't really buy that or whatever. Now he's kind of coming out a bit more light-hearted, and you can't win that way as well.
Once you change your stance for the fans because people are peppering you, it means you don't have any core values yourself. It means you're reacting to everything around you. No, but like, I'm saying that if let's just say you approach it your team a certain way, your players a certain way, you get down the line, it's not really working, then you abandon all those things and then try to be somebody else. It never works. It's a nightmare. The thing is about football as well, it's also how you come in, and momentum matters. Because you might be a great manager, but if you come in and momentum isn't there, it could be for any reason. To claw it back is really, really difficult. Because even if you look at Mikel Arteta, he came in, but the football looked all right, yeah, and then we won the FA Cup. So it gave him a foundation to like navigate another season and a half without it looking quite right. But with Potter, I can't see him winning anything. I can't see what he's even trying to do. It just looks
Mate, the
disjointed.
midfield today was a real shocker for me. Like, I was looking, they had Enzo Fernandez and Loftus-Cheek playing in there, and it looked like there was a huge gap in the middle of the park. And then whenever they got to the final third, it just broke down, and it looked so easy today for Spurs. And and Spurs when that should never be. Like, when you look at Tuchel's battle with Conte early this season, that's unrecognisable from what we've seen today.
Yeah.
And Kieran Dyer, when I had him on the podcast, said he'd spoken to one of the Chelsea first team players, and he said they were like shocked that they'd swapped Tuchel for Potter. That Tuchel was on a totally different level. A totally different level.
I mean, probably, yeah, tactically, everyone knows Tuchel was a world-class manager. Graham Potter, the case is still out. He's done really well with Brighton, but you don't know, especially at the top level.
I could be wrong, and maybe we should be like, give managers time, and how do you expect them to put this together? But when a massive mega club like Chelsea is struggling this much, I feel like they should be looking at some of the top guys out there.
If a world-class manager is available, I think you just have to get it done.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do it now though, because from experience, bringing in Ranić last season was not.
Yo.
No. But even then,
Don't-
that was horrible. But as it was,
But Tim, you can't react to
it
that.
wasn't well-
Don't react to that
No,
comment.
but he wasn't,
How dare you?
Ranić wasn't well class.
How dare
But
you?
my point isn't doing it now to like save the season. The season's a write-off. Look, if you can rescue some sort of position, then fine. But my point is that you have to get the world-class manager when they are available. So if you're waiting and say like, oh,
Who is
wait
the-
now
who is
because
that,
you might
though?
but say, I mean, you said Zidane or whatever, but like, say it is.
He's
No,
not-
but I'm just saying.
What? No.
Say it is Pochettino, right? And he's not available right now, but in a month he is available.
Would you say Pochettino's world class?
He's a top level
I think
manager.
I think he's worth punting on for sure.
I think Pochettino has the same sort of Potter effect because Pochettino's.
He's better than
He's
Potter.
better than
Well,
Potter,
if you look at Pochettino at PSG when he was given a big
was
budget, and
terrible.
whatnot, he did nothing, right?
No, but to be fair,
Who's done well?
PSG
Who's
is
done
something
well
else.
there though? Who's done well?
No one.
Who's done well at PSG?
Pochettino did well at Spurs with a low budget, building a team that wasn't any huge superstars
Yeah,
at the time,
and what
right?
Spurs fans always said was, if only we spent the dough, because Pochettino, like everyone knew, his frustration was that I don't have.
They didn't pull
quite
the
have
trigger
enough
when they should have
money.
done, and he went way further than Potter did.
Imagine he had
No,
the
I
dough
agree
to
with
actually
that. I
get
do
players
agree.
in that he wanted to.
I'm not saying Pochettino is worse than Potter, but I'm just saying I feel for Chelsea you almost need a Mourinho, a Zidane, someone that's larger than life. Because
I just feel
can't
like-
lie, like you say, there's so many players on these 8 and 9 year contracts. They're not going to sit there if they don't like a manager and accept it. They're gonna try and take power in the dressing room. You need someone that comes in that demands respect. Everyone looks at and thinks, "Wow, that's the guy.
yeah.
We're going to follow him." To the end, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think doing it now will actually give them a bonus in terms of, all right, your season might be a write-off, but you need someone who, if you give them the end of this season to work out, all right, who needs to go, who's actually going to work together, who's got some chemistry within this team, because Potter hasn't got a clue who his best side is. It's actually like, if one of the consistent things we've seen in football over the last 10 years is like managers who know their best side and can automatically almost pick them, usually you get that chemistry, you get that winning mentality. And all of the top sides have that. Chelsea are a million miles away from that. So give a manager that time. Like I think Klopp got that with Liverpool towards the end of the second half of the season, and then he kicked on. I think that makes sense.
Only Mourinho I can think of will go in and be like, "You're my starting 11, and the rest of you have got to earn it." Everybody else will be like, "Well, you know, we got like Ziyech shouldn't even be in the squad, but he's somehow in there because of what happened with PSG on the transfer deadline day." I was like, "That's just soft. It's just a weak mentality." He's never been good for Chelsea, and somehow he's now in the
I
starting
feel like
11,
Sterling's
and he's
on a
still
bit
in the
of a
11.
decline as well, to be honest.
Him as well. It's just players, and I love Sterling because I think he's brilliant. But I think he actually turned down Arsenal because he thought that we weren't going to be a proper team and we weren't going to be competitive. And now I look at him now, and I feel like this is how your career ends, and you end up in the MLS in 2 seasons' time because you go.
No, that's you got
No,
to be
listen.
joking,
That's so
bro.
No,
You gotta be
listen.
joking.
All right, think about it now. Yeah,
Saudi, maybe.
you've already you're not going back to Liverpool. Yeah, Man City you've already been to. You're now at Chelsea. Man United wouldn't sign you.
I'd
You've
take
already
Man
turned down
Newcastle.
Arsenal. Where are you going?
I could see him at Newcastle.
And this is
I
what
would
I'm
pick-
saying. You're going to end up in Newcastle.
don't know.
Newcastle, MLS.
That's a good thing, you bastard.